Tonight I'm thinking about the moment when new quietly becomes normal. A raise, a gadget, a bigger number on a screen. And 3 weeks later, it's just Tuesday. Brains are good at survival and terrible at permanent fireworks. The lights dim so we can keep walking. That isn't a moral failure. It's a wiring quirk with side effects. If we don't notice the dimmer switch, we'll keep reaching for a brighter bulb instead of asking, what actually feels like enough light for this room? A quick story. I once tracked every little upgrade for a month. The thrill curve looked the same each time. Steep rise, gentle slide. Useful data, mildly embarrassing. So maybe the better question isn't, how do I feel happy all the time? But, which parts of life keep paying rent after the glitter settles? Hold that thought while we talk about enough, as a texture, not a number. We've all met the Tuesday effect. New phone, new title, new follower count. By the third Tuesday, your brain files it under background. That filing cabinet isn't cruel, it's efficient. If everything stayed amazing, nothing would be usable. The problem shows up when we blame ourselves for the dimness and keep buying brighter bulbs, instead of re-aiming the lamp. When people say enough, they usually mean a number. But most of the time, it's a texture. It's the way a room feels when the light is warm and you can actually read. It's the way a schedule feels when it has one breathable margin. It's the way a friendship feels when you're allowed to be quiet together. Numbers can support that texture, but they rarely create it. So how do we stop chasing brighter bulbs? I use a simple check I call the pays rent test. After the glitter settles, does this thing keep paying rent in at least one of 3 currencies? First, usefulness. Do I reach for it without thinking because it genuinely helps? Not someday helps, but quietly, repeatedly helpful in real life. A kettle that heats water fast enough to make tea before an email loads. Usefulness. Second, aliveness. Does it spark interest, play, or learning? I'm not talking about dopamine fireworks. I mean the slow, steady current of curiosity. A book that lives on your desk and keeps getting dog-eared. Aliveness. Third, togetherness. Does it make connection easier or kinder, for me or for someone I love? A tiny habit of sending one voice note a week to a friend. Togetherness. If something keeps paying rent in at least one of those currencies, it's probably not more for more's sake. If it pays in none, that's a bulb, not a room. Here's a tiny field recordist experiment you can try. No app required. Pick just one area: work gear, morning routine, or social media. Step 1, name the bulb you've been chasing. If I just had. Say it out loud. It's okay if it sounds small or a little silly. Step 2, describe the room you actually want in sensory words. Light that doesn't glare. A desk with one open square. A morning that isn't loud for the first half hour. A conversation where I don't have to be clever. Step 3, swap numbers for knobs. What single dial could you turn today that moves the texture closer? Not a purchase, a placement, a boundary, a tweak. Move the lamp 2 feet to the right. Put your phone to charge in the hallway. Mute all notifications except the people you'd open the door for. Step 4, watch for the slide. When your change becomes Tuesday, ask the rent question again. Is it still paying in usefulness, aliveness, or togetherness? If yes, keep it. If not, dim it back without drama. Think like an audio engineer. Instead of buying a louder mic, adjust gain and placement. Most of life is gain staging. It also helps to translate what more is trying to say. More money sometimes means I want safety. I don't want to be dropped. More time sometimes means I want freedom. I want to choose my Tuesday. More recognition sometimes means I want to be seen. I want my effort to land. When you catch the translation, you can meet the need directly with design, with one boundary, or with one honest conversation, instead of 12 shinier bulbs. Another thing I learned from that month of tracking upgrades: the thrill curve isn't the enemy, it's a compass. It tells me what's new. It doesn't tell me what's nourishing. New is a spark. Nourishing is a meal. Sparks are fun. Meals keep you going. If you want a quick self-check, ask, where in life do I keep adding sparkle because I haven't admitted I need a wall, or a window, or a chair that fits my back? The answer is rarely grand. It's often a tiny design choice that removes grit from a daily hinge, where the day swings open or jams. Let me give you 3 small examples that passed my pays rent test. 1. I put a hook by the door at eye level for my keys. Zero glamour, but it pays in usefulness every single day. No more scavenger hunts. 2. I set a no pings hour after I wake up. Not heroic, just quiet. It pays in aliveness. Ideas get a chance to poke their heads out before the crowd arrives. 3. I started a tiny ritual with someone I love. One photo of something ordinary we appreciate, sent once a week. It pays in togetherness. It reminds us we're in each other's Tuesdays. None of those are brighter bulbs. They're room choices. So if you're tempted to chase more, try a friendly interrogation. What do I think more will fix? Is there a knob I can turn today that gives me that texture directly? Can I re-aim the lamp I already own? Before you sleep, here's tonight's gentle challenge. Pick one knob to turn 2%. Not a life overhaul, just enough to feel the texture shift. Move the lamp. Put your phone in another room for the first 30 minutes tomorrow. Trade one scroll for one paragraph. See if the room changes. And if you try the experiment, I'd love to hear what paid rent. Usefulness, aliveness, togetherness. Choose your currency. Thanks for listening. I'll let the rain play us out.